Hello, second grade scholars. I want to introduce you to a sample of the next writing activity you will do for this unit, and that is a how-to essay. So we're going to take a look at a sample today, and I'm going to point out a few important parts of this essay so that when you go to actually write your essay, you'll have a better understanding of what it is and how it is that you're supposed to write. So, as you can see, this is called Tic-Tac-Toe, and I'm going to read it to you first, and then we'll look back at each part of this essay. So, Tic-Tac-Toe. Tic-Tac-Toe is an easy, fun game. All you need is a piece of paper, a pencil, and a friend. First, make a game board that looks like this. Leave space to write letters in the spaces. Next, pick the player who will start. You can use a coin toss. Then, the starting player draws an X in one space. The middle space is the best. Next, the other player draws an O in a space. Take turns drawing X's and O's. Last, draw 3 X's or 3 O's in a row to win. The row can be up and down, across, or diagonal. Tic-tac-toe is easy, and it doesn't take long to play. You will have fun making rows. So let's start to look at this essay. The very first paragraph, this is our intro, and this is our beginning paragraph. So in the introduction, we see the topic, and I'm going to underline the topic for you. The topic is tic-tac-toe. Let me just highlight that for you. So our topic is tic-tac-toe, and if we look a little bit further, we will also see the materials needed. So it says all you need is a piece of paper. I'm going to highlight this as well. A pencil and a friend. So typically in an introduction of a how-to essay, they're going to tell you the topic or what they're about to tell you or teach you. And then they're also going to list out the materials that you will need. Now, if we look at the middle paragraph, the second paragraph, also known as the body, this is where the steps are included to tell you how to actually do the task. So remember, when we write our steps, we must make sure that they are told in order in which they must be completed, because sometimes if you do steps out of order, you may not get the same results, or it may not work out. So let's take a look at this paragraph in the middle, and let's point out some of the steps for tic-tac-toe. Okay, so let's take a look here. First, make a game board that looks like this, and they give you a little, the lines that cross there, just like the tic-tac-toe board up in this picture here. So we see that is the very first thing that we have to do. And I'm going to highlight that for us so that we have that. All right, the next thing, it says leave a space to write letters in the spaces. All right, here's the next step. Next, pick the player who will start. You can use a coin toss. All right, here's the next step. Then, the starting player draws an X in the one space. The middle space is the best. Okay, next, the other player draws an O in a space. Take turns drawing X's and O's. And then now it says last, draw 3 X's or 3 O's in a row to win. The row can be up and down, across, or diagonal. So these are the steps in which you can do and follow in order to play this game tic-tac-toe. And I also want to point out that you'll notice before each step the transition words. The first, next, then, next, last. Those are important words that help the flow of this how-to essay sort of have an order, and they sort of help cue you in to pay attention to what has to come next. So this is all part of the body paragraph, and it's very important, again, that you have your steps in order in which they should happen, that they're very clearly told. Now, if we move on, I do want to remind you about word choice, okay, using precise vocabulary for each step. When we do that, it helps the readers better understand what to do. So, for example, in this sample, it tells the starting player to draw an X in a spot or space, okay? How do you think this step might be less clear if the words starting and draw did not appear? Pretty confusing, right? So who is the player that draws the X or that puts an X somewhere? Where are they supposed to put it, you know? And so if you don't have every detail there, it might be a little bit confusing, especially for someone that doesn't know how to do this game. So be sure you are being very clear in using good word choice. All right, now let's take a look at the last paragraph. This is our conclusion or our ending paragraph. Notice how it sums up the topic, right? It again repeats the topic, which is tic-tac-toe, sums it up, and kind of gives the reader a little bit of hope, saying you will have fun making rows, okay? So again, it just wraps it all up and concludes your how-to essay. Okay, so again, here are a few questions that will help you think about the characteristics of a how-to essay. So, for example, number 1, what is taught in the how-to writing sample? You have to come up with a topic. What are you going to teach someone how to do? What materials are needed? Okay, be sure to be very clear about what they need to complete that task. How many steps are there? What words helped you know the order? And are the steps easy to follow? And then making sure all of the important information is there, and what made you think as you do. Okay? So again, this is a preview of a sample for a how-to essay, and this is the type of essay you are eventually going to be writing in Unit 5.